What's up, people? Welcome back. Thank you for giving me some of your time today. We're gonna continue where we left off last time. Last time I was working on electrical, and I ran out of wire. So I was planning on just like repurposing the wire that was in here, but I just said screw it. Since I already started, running new wire, I might as well finish with new wire. So I ordered more. I'm still waiting on that. So pretty much where this is right here is currently at a standstill right now till that shows up. But I still have electrical stuff I could do, so I'm gonna continue on that. I have to do, is it like the 50 amp connector, because we're going from 30 amp to 50. So I still have to do that, run wire for that. The LED lights still need to be run. Like we have wires right here for like the old lights that are up here, but I'm gonna do I believe probably like 8 running down the center of the van right there. So we still have that. We still have to do the 50 amp. I still have to program the Victron stuff, so I have the correct charging rates for the lithium batteries. So we still have that. So we definitely have work to do. That's not gonna keep us, the wire that I'm waiting to come in is not gonna keep us from actually continuing with the process. So I'm gonna dig out what I need today, because it's stuff is hitting from me, and I know what I have. I just don't really remember where I put it. So I'm gonna dig that stuff out, and then we're gonna continue on the wiring. But 50 amp, run the wire from there, somewhere through there to where all of this stuff will eventually live. That's to get programmed. That still needs to be programmed. So like, we got stuff to do while we wait for the wire to show up. Should be here, I don't know, probably next video, hopefully. It's on back order, the place I order it from, because the price is right. Customer service is pretty cool. So I'm gonna just be patient and wait for it to show up. And yeah, I have plenty other things to do, so I'm not even gonna dwell on that too much. So patience. But let me dig out what I need so we can get started and make some progress. Yeah, this is the 50 amp connector is going to replace this. So hopefully, size wise, I'm hoping it will fit in the hole that is already here, so I don't have to widen it any more than that's already there. And it looks like it should. And then from there, so that's a surge guard, model number 35550. And then for my breaker here, if you can see that right there, Home Spa, Steel Load Center Outdoor 2-pole GFCI, rated for 50 amp. So that already has your 50 amp in there, and this is just going to be solely for the shore power right here. So this is going to have its own little breaker, that box. I just need to find a place to mount it. I'm going to try to fit everything up here. There's like a plate that sits flush right here, so I want everything to kind of sit like under here. And so I still have that plate that velcros, and then you have your triangles right here for like if you break down, your reflectors. But I want to try to fit everything back here, and as you can see, the items are pretty large. So we have our work cut out for us. This might actually, the surge guard might actually fit like in between there, and I can have the wire keep running under the dash, but we shall see. So first things first, actually let's see if we can get this the 50 amp right here mounted up. Or actually, let's plug in the 30 amp and charge these batteries. also do have adapters for when I have the 50 amp Shure adapter on there. I'll be able to go from 50 amp. I have a 30 amp adapter to the 120 to 110 to wall adapter also. So that way, like, it could suit like wherever we go, any outlet that you have, I should hopefully be able to hook up. But like the norm is 30 amp, but I'll still be able to use a 30 amp because I have an adapter for it. But this is how that works for what's on there right now. Like, this is all going to be different. But well, something just popped. Whoa. And the breaker broke. So we're gonna unplug the fridge for a minute. It's probably drawing just too much amperage. But once I have my system hooked in, the Victron inverter actually could give you like a 50 amp bump. So that we'll get to that later. But well, it's saying no. That might be why. Safety first. Okay, so these are the outlets I disconnected. They're grounding out to the chassis here because these are still open. This is your ground, this is your power, and this is your neutral. Yeah, and that's still running up to here. So you just experienced what a short circuit, a breaker that actually working is doing its job is doing. So yeah, let me get those wires covered up and then we can try that again. Round 3. Bada boom, bada bang. And then when that kicks in, this is what charges the auxiliary. There's a battery isolator back there in the corner. I don't think you probably could really like see that, but that's what charges, like when the truck is running, the alternator will charge both the main battery, the starting battery, and then your auxiliary battery. And then also have to check that out, see what like its charge rates are, because I'm going from the marine batteries to the lithium batteries. So we still have to check that out. There it goes. And there it goes. So it takes a little bit for it to start up, but there it is charging. That's the auxiliary battery, and that's the vehicle battery. So yeah, I'm gonna let that do its thing. Add a little juice to auxiliary batteries, and I'm gonna keep on keeping on. And let's get that mounted up. just gonna remove this cable here to make more room for the 50 amp cable I have running through here. So that's the way it's gonna run around through there, and then it's gonna pop out over here, and I'll just make sure, like, if it's against any sharp edges, that I'll insulate the cable so it doesn't chafe. But that's where that's gonna go. So we got plenty of cable. So I was gonna run it through, and then we're gonna start connecting. I just got finished reading through the instructions, just to kind of verify which one is supposed to actually go first. So this one actually line power in, goes to the surge guard first, then load out to the circuit breaker, and then from the circuit breaker to the inverter here, and then from the inverter to the distribution panel for the outlets, for the the TV outlet and stuff. But I was looking for to mount this. It says you can mount it pretty much any position, like so, and like so, but you can't mount it flat. So for mounting, it's either up here like so, or here, but I don't really like how that looks right there. Or I was thinking like here, but I don't really like how that sits also, because there's like a panel that sits right here that kind of covers all that. So this, I'm contemplating putting like so up here like that, and then from here I'll probably put the circuit breaker up there because there's more room for it. It's further away, but it's more room, because either this will end up having to go like so, and then you have to worry about the wires coming out through here and through the bottom, versus if it was just up there, I could probably just use these two side ones for going in and out. So actually I think I'm going to do that, but the surge guard I'm going to put there, because I believe I've heard this makes like noise, like when it's actually like running, we actually have it plugged in, like a humming noise. So I'll probably want this like as far away as possible from there. So yeah, we're going to put this here, and yeah. panel right here for the shore power. This is currently, it's 50 amp now. We went from 30 to 50, so that's done. And then also I have the surge protector mounted right there. So the instructions said for the surge protector to go before your circuit breaker, or if you have like a distribution panel for like if you have a generator, all that is supposed to go after the surge protector. So I don't really have room down there for the circuit breaker. So right here eventually is where everything is going to live, like the inverter, the charge controller for the solar, the breaker, distribution block for or the circuit breakers for the outlets are all going to go like right here. So I'm going to save that breaker and put it up there also. Just it saves more space over there. There's really no room for it, and I like everything to kind of like be out of sight. So like if I put it over there, you definitely will see it. There is a panel that blocks right here, so you can't see anything back there. So all of that stuff will be hidden. This stuff will eventually be gone, like once I actually clean up. It's starting to become a little bit of a mess again, but I guess that's part of the process. Right now, I think I'm probably actually gonna start taking out the Victron stuff, like the charge controller for the solar, the inverter, and probably program those, because I would at least start charging these batteries. They've been sitting for a little while right here, the lithium batteries. So they have a BMS built into them. It says it's at 80%, 13.1 volts, but I just want to actually get each one up to full charge before we make the full charge before we combine them all together. There's going to be a distribution block right here for a negative, positive for all the batteries to loom into that. Because I'm going to do a combination of like a series, or actually a parallel circuit for the batteries. But I'm going to do two batteries together at a time. So this would be like 1 bank, 2 bank, 3 bank, 4 bank, 5 banks, for a total of 10 batteries. And I'm gonna try to have the cables about the same length, because I'm just worrying about like once they're charging, they charge about like the same. But like with the lithium batteries, there's a, you don't have to balance the batteries. They don't need that. They're not like lead acid batteries, so we don't have to worry about that. But I just kind of want like the cable length to be about the same, and then you have to worry about like the input for the charge. Like if I did all of these in parallel, like together, and then I had like the negative down there and the positive right there for the charge going in, like I feel like the flow current will go and it has to make its way through, versus if I have 5 banks or 5 little banks, it's gonna be like 1 bank, but like 5 sets of parallel circuits. I feel like the batteries would charge a little bit better if everything, if the charge comes into here and then it just breaks off into 5 branches. I feel like it'll charge better. I don't know. In my head, it sounds like a good idea, so that's what I'm gonna do. But yeah, I'm gonna start actually laying out the electrical, because that right there, we have a bus bar, this monstrous bus bar right here. I have 2 of them. Handle up to 1,000 amps. Common bus bar by Blue Sea. Blue Sea Systems. A little tongue twister. This is what we have here. And as you can see, we break into this. You could come off of this if you have like smaller gauge, like 14 gauge, 12 gauge, or whatever, and all the way up to like, if you, I'm doing a 1 op from the battery for the bus bars to the inverter. I'm gonna do I think it's 1 op, yeah, or 0 op, or yeah. Anyways, but this is our bus bar we're gonna use to distribute like the power and all the wires coming out. So I think it looks pretty cool. I have 2 of them. One's going to be negative and the other one's going to be positive. So, And these will actually end up mounting like somewhere like so. Somewhere in between there. Maybe upside down. So I have to worry about the bench where I wanted my seat height to be when I built that. So I have to do like 2x4s and stuff. But I want these to probably sit. I'm gonna have them sit like that and another one over it. But I gotta worry about the height of my benches. So we have to take all that into consideration also. But yeah, it's coming together. It's just a lot of like little pieces, and the little things start to add up after a while. You know, like you forget to order something, but like you buy your big thing. You're like, oh, I got the big thing that I need, but then you need the little stuff, the cables to loop everything together. Like we have our color controller. It should show our charge rate, where the power is coming in and going out, and how much like life we have left with the batteries, like how many days I could go without like needing to actually charge them. So we have all that. This is for the solar panels. They have each one has its own fuse, but this is the combination panel for the solar panels, and then from there it's going to go to the charge controller. This is for the solar right here. So from there, and then this will dump into the bus bar positive for the battery bank, and then this right here will be also for where you go from the battery bank to this for your outlets. So for TV and stuff like that, that's what that comes in. It changes the 12 volt, the battery bank, to 120. So that's what this is for. Let me show you. That is it, the inverter. You probably noticed it like while I've been building like the van and stuff. It's been sitting here, but like we're getting there. We're getting to it. We're getting to the fun part. You know, I just can't wait to actually have everything like assembled and see that the battery bank is enough like to last for days without actually having to be plugged in. You know, days without the sun also, because I want to be able to run the AC right here without being plugged in at all. You know, so I have an easy start I installed on the AC already. I didn't record that. There's a lot of stuff I didn't record, you know, so yeah, bear with me. But there's an easy start, so that should lower the amp draw required to actually start the AC up. So I'm hoping to be able to run the AC for days in like the middle of summer non-stop without actually having to be plugged in, and just running off the battery banks and with the solar panels running. So yeah, but we have this a bunch of other little things here and there, but yeah, let me get to it. Actually, I should probably just lay out everything in the middle of the floor right here to kind of make it easier on the eyes. Because like down here, we also, these are your cables that we're going to run from the bus bar to the inverter. So that's 1 aught for both the positive and the negative. And then we just have these securement cables for I think this is going to be for my outlets, for my distribution panel for that. Or actually, this is going to be for our shoreline that we just ran when I do that fuse panel in the cabinet. For that, we have a bunch of breakers. We have a bunch of circuit breakers, fuses, relays. Relays are going to be for my tank heaters. I do have tank heaters for the water storage tanks that I do have, just in case, like if I'm somewhere where it gets below freezing, I could turn those on and my water won't freeze, pipes and stuff won't freeze. But that's going to be another day. We're getting to that also. We have water storage tanks. I have 2 of those now, both of them. I'm going to do a gray tank and a freshwater. I'm not doing a black tank. I'm contemplating a compost toilet. So I think that would probably work out best for me because it'll be like for emergencies, like if whenever the gyms and stuff open, um, you could just get a membership. It'll force you to actually work out, so you don't just see like you're that guy that comes in for the shower and then leaves. But yeah, I think that should work out as long as I have like shower, sink for like some dishes, cooking. Just you never know. Some days you might not want to go to the gym to use the shower, and you'll have your own stuff set up, so you'll be good to go. Propane tank eventually. That's for the cooking. But for the wiring, I'm gonna just actually lay this stuff out right here to kind of get a visual to kind of help with the process a little bit. Okay, this is everything that I need to install the electrical, but don't hold me to that. Right here, I have everything laid out. This is going to be our 12 volt. I like to run, we have a level gauge for our fresh water in our gray tank, and also like other things that are 12 volt. That's what that's for. This is to run the whole battery bank. Like from here, if this is positive, it's going to run through this with 400 amps. Both of these are going to run into the inverter right there. And then with those, we also have these shut-offs, 400 amps also. So if we need to disconnect the power, we can just shut everything up down. And then we also have shut-offs for, I believe this is for our charge controller. And this one is from our the 12 volt source. I just want to be able to just shut everything down if need be without having to use like the circuit breaker. And then we have shut offs like to run in between also for 100 amps each. So that's that part. And then our light dimmer here for our LEDs, and then wire. And then for our monitors or displays at this, so both of these will sit into this, and I'll probably mount it on the wall over there. But we have that, our inverter, our solar charge controller, our 50 amp breaker for Shure, for our solar panels. Each panel, I have 6 on the roof. They each have their own breaker, and these are for our outlets for like the TV and stuff like that. And these are just for our battery wires I have to make up. So we have end caps so nothing shorts out, and LEDs for the ceiling. And what is this? Bus bar, 2 USB for the Victron stuff, and we have cables and links. So this probably needs to go with that. But yeah, you just start making up cables. But actually, I should probably just program the inverter and the solar charge controller now before I can start, so that way when I have stuff hooked up to it, it's already done and I don't forget to like program it. So that way you have to make sure the settings are correct for the lithium batteries. So we don't want to like destroy those. Those are an investment. So we want to make sure we have the charge algorithms correct. So we're going to get on that. gonna actually go through and start reading the instructions a little bit before I keep this footage rolling. So yeah, I think we'll probably break this into another one. We got our shore power installed. The 50 amp, that's done with the surge protector. And we got our wire ran from the shore all the way over yonder here to like eventually where everything will live, like right going right above this in its own little cabinet area. But we got the cable ran for the shore power. That's done. And I'm gonna go through and read the instructions on programming this stuff right here. So we have the correct charge algorithm for the batteries. So I'm gonna go through and read that just to save some footage because the books are a little thick and I want to make sure I read everything that's important to make sure I don't miss anything and mess anything up. So yeah, but thanks for watching. Thanks for allowing me to waste some of your time. Well, not waste, but hopefully you gain something from this. Hope you enjoy the videos. I'm enjoying it. The process is fun. I wish I could just snap my fingers and have everything done, but that's not how life goes. So patience. Patience is a virtue. We're going to make it happen. And like, subscribe. I appreciate you checking me out. Yeah, we're going to make it happen. We're making progress. Until next time. Peace.